Søren Kierkegaard was well known for deeply contending with the philosophy behind existential religious ideas. This led him to meditate on love, as it is often related and even equated to the concept of God. If we think of God as the universe within and without us, as the highest form of love expressed by an all-powerful collective unity, how would he reach us? How would we react to such an overwhelmingly radiant and yet frightening force? And perhaps most importantly, can we tap into that love with each other? Welcome back to Mysterium Tremendum et Fascinans. Today we will explore the parable of the King and the Maiden by Søren Kierkegaard. This parable reveals 7 truths about love, and maybe, if we are willing, the nature of God, even if it is from a purely conceptual standpoint. So without further ado, here is an AI clone of Mr. Kierkegaard to read the parable to you.
Suppose there was a king who loved a humble maiden. The king was like no other king. Every statesman trembled before his power. No one dared breathe a word against him, for he had the strength to crush all opponents. And yet this mighty king was melted by love for a humble maiden who lived in a poor village in his kingdom. How could he declare his love for her? In an odd sort of way, his kingliness tied his hands. If he brought her to the palace and crowned her head with jewels and clothed her body in royal robes, she would surely not resist. No one dared resist him. But would she love him? She would say she loved him, of course, but would she truly? Or would she live with him in fear, nursing a private grief for the life she had left behind? Would she be happy at his side? How could he know for sure? If he rode to her forest cottage in his royal carriage, with an armed escort waving bright banners, that too would overwhelm her. He did not want a cringing subject. He wanted a lover, an equal. He wanted her to forget that he was a king, and she a humble maiden, and to let shared love cross the gulf between them. For it is only in love that the unequal can be made equal. The king, convinced he could not elevate the maiden without crushing her freedom, resolved to descend to her. Clothed as a beggar, he approached her cottage with a worn cloak fluttering loose about him. This was not just a disguise. The king took on a totally new identity. He had renounced his throne to declare his love and to win hers.
At first glance, this story may seem to you like a romantic tale of a king trying to stay clear of a shallow relationship. But Kierkegaard used it to probe a larger question. What is real love? The purest form, let's call it divine love. In a world that increasingly sees love as the feeling that results from the transactional relationships, this story comes to shake the holy ground we stand on when we are faced with the action of loving one another. So here are the 7 lessons that can transform how you see love. From The King and the Maiden. 1. Love never bullies. If you truly love someone, you never use power or force to win their affection. Real love means never leveraging that strength, neither coercing nor threatening, because forced affection isn't real. Genuine love respects freedom and choice, always leaving room for the other individual to decide without pressure. 2. Love steps down. Genuine love doesn't show off or expect someone else to rise to its level. Instead, it willingly steps down, meeting others where they are. True love is found in humble environments where individuals can genuinely connect as equals, having a real shared moment instead of a fabricated and overly incentivized one. 3. Love seeks equality, not flattery. Love isn't about receiving admiration or being worshipped. Real love doesn't seek constant gratitude or praise. Instead, it desires genuine companionship, which can only happen when both parties see each other as equals, rather than one feeling indebted or inferior. 4. Love is creative. Authentic love doesn't just tolerate the other person, it encourages growth. When someone deeply loves another, they inspire change without demanding it. Like a mentor who patiently teaches without making the learner feel small, true love helps the other become stronger, wiser, or happier, naturally and freely. 5. Love accepts risk and pain. To truly love someone means accepting the risk that love won't be returned or understood. Just as someone who deeply loves another risks rejection, misunderstandings, or heartbreak, real love knowingly takes those risks, preferring pain over fake or controlled affection. True love means willingly facing vulnerability, trusting the other even when it could hurt. 6. Love refuses manipulation. Genuine love refuses shortcuts like manipulation. Someone who truly loves wouldn't say what the other wants to hear, just to impress them. Even if honesty is harder, real love prefers truth over illusion. It would rather face disappointment than win affection by trickery or false appearances. You may think, but wait, in Kierkegaard's story, the king is deceiving the maiden. Yes, however, even if high status is the true reality of the king, it is a manipulation and a distortion of the real person under the crown. Our status, positions, characters, and stereotypes mask who we are at the core, sometimes even to ourselves. This is why true self-love is just as important and applies to all these points. 7. Love invites a hard, joyful transformation. Genuine love cracks open old defenses and beliefs. It's hard and sometimes painful, but it creates space for something stronger to grow. This love can challenge old ways, break down defenses, and force the involved parties to grow. Like seeds cracking through concrete, genuine love transforms us deeply. The breaking apart of old habits or beliefs can be difficult, but it's ultimately joyful, creating space for something stronger and better to flourish. Those were the 7 qualities of genuine love. Kierkegaard was tapping into some truths that anyone can see for themselves. Because at the end of the day, the purest reality we share in this universe might just be love, unforced, equal, creative, and courageous. Even in our darkest hour, we can choose love. Even in our darkest hour, love chooses us. Thanks for watching. If you found this meaningful, hit like and subscribe. Discover together the unlimited consciousness of the universe within. See you next time.